You know what, everyone? This is interesting to watch, and let's see if you're as cynical as I am about how this is playing out. I think you can completely disagree. There's any way to go with this. I think the NFL is doing some pre-public relations work as cover. I do. In other words, if and when this guy, not if, I'm not even going to say if. I know concussions well. When this guy ends up with his arm sticking up in the air again, because we're now unfortunately used to seeing him on the ground with his arm sticking up in the air. When he ends up like that again, I think the NFL is trying to tell you today, hey, you need to know we've done all we can. And by the way, concussion numbers are down. I find the timing of this, the way it's worded, how it is almost bragging. No, not almost bragging. Bragging. I find this an absolute example of we're going to cover our ass before this looks really bad. And it will. What do you read into this? Where do you think this is going? This is what I think. Miami Dolphins quarterback Tua Tagovailoa is going to play again. That's what I think. And I think it's pretty obvious. And I think the timing of this makes it so obvious it's kind of creepy. And I think the NFL is saying, shoot, not on our watch. We're doing all we can. He's gone rogue. Nope, not us. No. In fact, let us tell you about it, what a great job we're doing on concussions. And that way you'll focus on how great we are. So when he drools on himself the next time, you're not gonna get mad at us. I think they're trying to wash their hands of this deal. By the way, I think they're wrong. I think this is a mistake. I don't think this ends well for anybody, and I don't think it's a good look for the NFL. I'm suggesting they cut him off. I am. I don't know about the liability part because they've settled a few now. I'm not even suggesting that's the only reason. I just think in good conscience. It's their brand. It's their franchise. You don't have to let him play. I do think they should say, no, You know, we've never done this before that I know of. The NFL has never said, you know what, we're cutting you off. You're not playing again. We don't want you out here. We don't want the audience to see it. We don't want it to happen to you. We just can't. We can't let you end up here. That's what I think they should do. And they're not. In fact, they're doing just the opposite. What do you think of that? I think they're covering their ass, as usual. I think they're trying to get in front of this story. They must know something, as usual, because they are a PR machine. They want you to buy shirts, buy stuff, smile, play fantasy, and gamble, and never think twice about the health of the people on the field. That's what they'd like you to think. They don't want you to worry at all or be grossed out by the next guy that is drooling on himself and his arms are sticking straight up in the air like Tua Tagovailoa. No, don't worry about that. Have fun, everyone. Have fun. What I think their answer should be to him is, we get it. It's your life, but it's our business. And we're cutting you off. You're done. Hate us, sue us. We don't want this on our watch. Wish you well. You've got a settlement. You're going to make $150 million to go and play with your kids. And if you want more, I guess we'll just have to meet at the courthouse. But no, it's a bad look for us. That's what I think they should do, but they are not. What they are saying is it's not our call. So when he's drooling on himself, we had nothing to do with it. That's what I think they're saying. Now, maybe you agree with that. Maybe you think it's the only way to go. If so, fire away. Have at it. ESPN is now reporting as NFL officials touted a record low number of preseason concussions today. They pledged the league won't impose an outcome for its most notable concussion patient, Dolphins quarterback Tua Tagovailoa, who has been on injured reserve since September 17 after suffering the third documented, that's important, concussion of his pro career, is, quote, seeing top experts around the country. The NFL's chief medical officer, Dr. Alan Sills, told reporters during a conference call today. He said, patient autonomy and medical decision-making really matters. See, I take this guy is just throwing out as many fluffy terms as he can. I find it kind of disgusting. And I find it hard to believe that sensible and knowledgeable neurologists, any sensible and knowledgeable neurologist would sign off on this guy playing again. I just find that hard to believe. And I think their answer seems kind of gross. Here's what the chief NFL medical officer had to say. It's not like we can put in your number of concussions and how long between them and your age and some unusual constant number that always seems to be in freshman chemistry somehow. It just doesn't work that way. I take that to say, we don't know what's going to happen to you, even though we know what's going to happen to you. You know why we know what's going to happen? Plenty of data. Oh, and we've seen him in this position now 3 times. We've seen the exact same picture of this guy lying on the turf with his arms sticking up in the air. Actually, Doc, we know exactly how it's going to play out. Oh, but they're bragging. NFL players suffered 44 reported concussions this preseason, including practices and games. That represents a 25% drop from the same time frame in 2023. Oh, but Jeff, are you blaming the league for guys getting concussions? No, not necessarily. I'm not. I'm telling you. They do a lot. They do a lot, so you don't have to see them end up like he does. There's more awareness than ever. All that stuff is true. But I can tell you this. I don't care how new your helmet is or how lightweight it is. You go and run into each other, and 22 dudes are on the field, and 17 of them are running head on. You're going to have concussions pretty regularly. You are. You know how we know? Tua Tagovailoa. That's how we know. And he's not even running into people, and he's suffering major concussions to the point that he's stiff on the field.